The Stephon Gilmore saga continues as the former Patriots cornerback has now been traded to the Carolina Panthers. I'm Evan Lazar reporting for CLNS Media from Gillette Stadium, where the Patriots and the Panthers have announced a trade for Stephon Gilmore, shipping Gilmore, the Patriots are, to his hometown Carolina Panthers for a 6th-round pick in 2023. And before you lose your minds about the compensation for a former All-Pro and Defensive Player of the Year being so light, the Patriots had no leverage in this situation. As soon as they announced this morning that they had agreed to part ways with Gilmore, the rest of the league knew that he wasn't going to play another down for the Patriots. So the Panthers are just getting out in front of the bidding war for Gilmore's services in free agency by giving the Patriots some compensation on the front end in order to get Gilmore in the building and not have to compete for his services in free agency. If you want to second guess the Patriots, they missed the boat with maximizing the Gilmore asset by not trading him over the last year in the checkpoints that you have in the NFL saga, or the NFL season, I should say. 2020 draft cycle, there was a 2nd-round pick on the table for Stephon Gilmore. The Patriots passed on him to keep him on the roster. Right before the 2020 season, the Patriots agreed to incentivize Gilmore to get on the field by giving him a $5 million raise in 2020, despite the fact that teams were offering them draft compensation for Gilmore's services before the 2020 season began. Then at the 2020 trade deadline, the Patriots had more offers for Stephon Gilmore and didn't pull the trigger then either. So those 3 checkpoints are when the Patriots could have maximized this asset. Instead, they hang on to Gilmore, specifically last year when the Patriots were not a playoff team and went 7-9 with Cam Newton. They hang on to Gilmore out of hopes that they're going to be a playoff contender, out of hopes that they're going to compete with their defense. It didn't work out that way, and now you get just a 6th-round pick in 2023 back for one of your star players and one of your best players on your roster. So the second guessing is not right here and now, with the Patriots only getting a 6th-round pick back from Carolina once they had agreed to part ways with Gilmore this morning. The second guessing began before the 2020 season, the 2020 offseason, when they didn't trade Gilmore at the draft and they didn't trade Gilmore before the season started in the beginning of training camp. That was when his value was at its highest. We will continue to break down the Patriots defense without Stephon Gilmore and how they move forward after this trade with the Carolina Panthers on Patriots Press Pass. And you can read my takeaways and analysis about this move from the Patriots' perspective on CLNSmedia.com. I'm Evan Lazar for CLNS Media. Thanks for watching. CLNS Media's Patriots coverage is brought to you by the Legends brand. High-performance apparel with style and comfort that you will want to wear all day long. Use the promo code PATS20 for 20% off your first order. That is legends.com.